Hello. So I got a comment on my last video, and I don't know. I don't know if it's like trying to encourage or trying to make me feel calm me down, or if it's like trying to make me feel bad. But I think it's like a little bit of both. But I'm just gonna read it and then say what I think about it. Hey man, consider this. Your mind is creating scenarios that aren't real. But the thing is, like, I know my experiences are real. Like, I know when coincidences are coincidences and chance is chance, and I know when people at work are harassing me, and when there's tension and bitterness between me and another person. I know that. I know when someone doesn't like me and somebody is trying to show me that he or she doesn't like me. So I'm not crazy. I mean, I know that my mind sometimes maybe I might, overthink stuff, and I get a little worried, but yeah, it's because my brain is saying, well, these are possibilities, these are things that could happen in the future. Based on what you experienced in the past, these are things that could happen in the future. They're real possibilities. And, based on the information, the knowledge that I have, it's going to make assumptions as to what could happen in the future. And, yeah, I mean, I've been at that job for almost a year, and I didn't want to. I didn't go back to the job, but I didn't want to lose a job because I need, because I'm a hard worker and I need money. And I was trying my best to ignore all the pranks and all the harassment at work so that I could actually just keep it. Maybe I was thinking like, well, if I just ignore things and, it'll stop, but it just didn't stop, it got worse. So it says on here, you're addicted to creating these scenarios because it gives you a false sense of accomplishment when you thwart them. Never thought of it like that, but I don't think that's true because, I mean, if it was up to me, I would just be in peace all the time. I don't like to worry. I don't like to feel unease and anxiety. I hate it. It gives me horrible bodily sensations, and I feel like I have to throw up sometimes. I don't like it. You're stuck in a vicious loop. Well, with the anxiety I am, because my symptoms just never dissipate. They resurface every time I'm around the circumstances or the environment that causes them to manifest, and I can't really do anything about it. They completely just take over my body, I guess, and my mind. So it says your ancestors faced actual harsh circumstances, ferocious animals, brutal winters, etc., and persevered through them. Life is so physically comfortable now, but your mind still feels the need to persevere through something, so it creates these synthetic dangers. Well, yeah, it's pretty fucked up that my ancestors and all of our ancestors have to face horrible things. I mean, whenever I think about the past, whenever I just read about history and all the horrible things that people went through, women especially, and animals too. I mean, it's disgusting. And they persevered through them. Well, persevered like, I mean, they're all dead. And I don't understand the persevere through them. Some people just made it enough to, made it to a certain age, bear children, and then they died soon after. And I'm pretty sure all these people didn't experience good death, in the sense of like a death that is, gentle and humane. Because back then life was just so much harder, and the right medications weren't available. Anyways, life is so physically comfortable now. In comparison to, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago, but that's really a relative statement. Life is so physically comfortable. It just depends on who you're talking about. I mean, I'm not comfortable here. It's rare for me to feel comfortable. But your mind still feels the need to persevere through something, so it creates these synthetic dangers. I don't think so. I don't think my mind is creating, dangers. I think I'm just aware of, possible dangers, but I'm not creating like what happened yesterday. That's never happened before in my life. So that was extremely terrifying. I bet that guy at work doesn't like you. He probably hates me. But you don't occupy enough space in his mind to cause him to burn the energy it would require to come up with a plan to hurt you. Well, he came up with a plan. So, and he did it like, he kept harassing me every day at work. There was something new. And I guess it culminated in this, and the gunshots. Actually following me home. And then just scaring me. There was blood. Okay, there not blood, but there was like in the restroom, in the employee restroom, there was red drips on the toilet that looked like blood, and I knew that wasn't a coincidence. There was a wheelchair in the parking garage when I went to my car, just like in the middle of the parking garage. I've never seen that before. And there's a few other things, but anyways, I don't know what else to say except stop being so weak. Yeah, I don't think I'm being weak. I think I'm just being realistic, and I think I've been pretty strong. I work really, really hard. I have 3 jobs. I still go out and try to make it, even though I have a horrible anxiety disorder. I know I do it because I have to, but I try to make the best of it. Even if you continue to think life is dangerous, which it mildly is, it isn't mildly dangerous, it's extremely dangerous. Like, have you heard of sex trafficking? Sex slaves? Just accept it and commit to experiencing a dangerous life. I mean, I have to accept it because I don't have a choice, but commit myself to experience a dangerous life. Like, no. I don't even understand that, like, what I'm committed to is trying to avoid dangers as much as possible. But the thing is, like, you can't predict the future. You just, like, yeah, somebody harassed me at work because I'm having an anxiety disorder, and I'm avoidant, and just didn't like me. So there's going to be times in your life where people are going to have a really strong influence in your life, an impact in your life, and it's for something that was trivial or something that really wasn't commensurate to how I was being treated. Yeah. And I mean, I've been harassed before, and because of my anxiety too, but this is the first time that somebody's done this, that somebody has gone this far to get me to, leave my work, or I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to continue or not, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, like in the past, like I have been subjected to being harassed and even bullied at workplace. Just because I acted a certain way or because I didn't do a certain thing. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that people can just do that to you, fuck with your life, for reasons that don't even justify that kind of behavior. Anyways, and then the comment says, deer can't enjoy life because they're constantly on alert that they're about to get eaten. Quit being a deer. Oh. Life because they're constantly on alert that they're about to get eaten. I don't know. That's just really, and that's why I'm an Nephalist, precisely because of this reason. Because there's animals out there that are just constantly stressed, constantly worried. I mean, a lot of animals don't even get more than 2 hours of sleep every night because of predators. So I just can't even imagine what kind of life that would be like. It would just be like me last night, like how I was feeling, but just all the time. That would be horrible. So yeah, this is the reason why I'm an Nephalist and why the world needs to be sanitized. And if there was a red button, I would press it, instantly. Like before you could say antinatalism, I would hit that button. And yeah. But yeah, anxiety, this is just another example of people downplaying it, and it's happened to me since I knew I've had a disorder. I mean, it's still that stigma with mental disorders and mental health and mental illness, where people just downplay the symptoms, or they'll be like, well, I've heard this so many times. Even so many people in my family have told me, well, I have anxiety too, and you need to learn to get over it, or you need to be strong, and I used to be like that too, and blah blah blah, but now my anxiety is so bad that it even gives other people anxiety sometimes. I think I've heard it's like called secondhand anxiety, and yeah, I've noticed it. I've even had people avoid me just as much as I avoided people. Like they try to get close to me at first, and then they just they can handle it, because my symptoms were so bad that it was awkward, and it made them feel that they just, I don't know, it made them feel very uncomfortable, and they just, and that's painful to me. That's it hurts because one, I don't want to hurt anybody, and two, I don't want to be hurt either, but these are just experiences that I have to go through in my life because of a traumatic event that happened. Well, traumatic events that happened, but there was one in particular that really sort of set it off and really detonated it, so that my anxiety just went through the roof. I don't know. The only thing is, like with some people, I feel more comfortable with than other people, but it's not that many people. It's few people that I just sort of warm up to or feel like I can just be myself. That doesn't happen very often. I wish it happened more, but yeah. And then there's people that just make me extremely uncomfortable, and I become very avoidant of these people because the feelings are just so overwhelmingly uncomfortable and so painfully uncomfortable that it makes me just want to flee sometimes, just want to run, but no, I have to endure it and just keep working, because there's no, what kind of an existence is this? Like, I just hate that I came into this world just to be a stupid little capitalist. That's what we were trained to do. It's just, we're all trained to be, consumers in this fucking society. And just people don't appreciate all the risks and all the horrible things, all the tragedies that can happen, that are possible in this world. And just the older I get, I understand people less and less. As times get tougher, it's like people just become more prejudiced, more biased, more thick-headed, and then more ignorant, and more like defiant. It's just they don't want to accept reality. It's I kind of feel like it's this one comment, like this person doesn't want to accept the reality of the world. It doesn't want to judge it and say, this is bad, this is really, really bad, like nobody deserves this, nobody deserves to come into existence, to just be tortured, just to appear one day in a nightmare and live out a horrible existence until you die, or until you're basically destroyed. And then once you're gone, you're just forgotten forever. It's like you never even existed. It was just all for nothing. All the pain, all the misery. And people just like to extol the little few moments of happiness or euphoria that are just so few in number. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a tiny, tiny percentage. It just doesn't make life worth it.